Oh, oh, hello, Geocosmic Valentine. How are you? Ooh, I need to pour my tea. I have the most amazing tea. Hello, everyone. Happy Hot Topics Thursdays. I've got some amazing teas for my allergies and stomach upset. So I get the bags on Amazon, and then I stuff it with the herbs. So the herbs are it's making me cough. Sage, sage, the steam, roses for love, and cloves, which is an antimicrobial. So we have two antimicrobials. Also, a lot of bioflavonoids in cloves, but cloves are used for SIBO. Cheers. As for the taste, mountain sage got on Amazon from Icaria, cloves, and a few rose petals. Good for the heart chakra and also a tonic. So that is what I am drinking. My health has been not good. Too many abuses, as they say, right? We can all do it. With me, it was too much gluten. I was eating a lot of gluten. Oops, gotta mute that. There we go. Just want to make sure I can see the chat here. There we go. Hi, Clearwater Chad. Good to see you. Hi, Marty. Seeks to Truth. Hi, Beachcomber. You got a migraine. Hi, Pat Shore. Hi, Jason Taylor. Good to see you. Judith Bogner. Claire, great to see you. Thank you, everybody who's joining us. Oops, do I have it on the right stream? I think I do. Oops. What is going on here? Yes, I do have it on the right stream. I just have to mute it. Make sure I get to everybody. Joel Tilson in the house. Jill Linda, be grateful. Almost had MMA in the Senate yesterday with Bernie as referee. Oh, dear. I hear that there was a fight that broke out in Congress with all the war protest and that Hakeem Jeffries was in the middle of it. Hi, Diane. Thank you for your support. Thank you, everybody who's becoming a member. I announced it on Tuesday's Taco Tuesday. I'm going to announce it again. I'll be leaving for Israel December 25th. I'll be doing some volunteer work because of the war. I've been looking at different volunteer organizations. The one I think I'm the most impressed with is called Brothers and Sisters of Israel. And so I think that's the group I'm going to be. And I think I'm also going to donate my medical bag, my black bag, since I don't use it anymore, which has all my medical equipment. Go ahead and give that also to Israel. So I'll be gone from December 25th, and I'll be back sometime around January 8th, volunteering and helping out. If you'd like to help volunteer, and if you'd like to help support my volunteer work, if you donate to the channel, that would be great. It's a great way of supporting the volunteer work. Basically, excuse me, what they're doing is they're packing lunches for the soldiers, packing equipment, getting equipment to family members who are displaced. As you know, hundreds of thousands of Israelis on the other side have been displaced, and we're just serving their needs. And hopefully also talking about an oasis or extra land that can be offered to kind of get people from Gaza permanently housing in Israel while they go back to work, while the rebuild is happening. So that's something that I'm proposing, that we've talked about. And who knows, maybe it will happen, maybe it won't. I've written the IDF, and now I'm doing something a little bit more concrete about how theoretically a neutral zone would work and the function of such a zone. But it would be nice if they could do such a thing, both in the Sinai and also in Israel, because it is an overpopulated area, and I think that that would help quite a bit. Hi, Christine. Hi, K-Travel. Hi, Francis Wood. Good to see you, Geocosmic. I think we need, thank you, Joel Tilson. Our floor director is here. I'm going to go ahead and take a couple more sips of tea, clear my throat. We'll do the impasse prayer, and then we will blitz, blitz, blitz away. King Fulk II of Jerusalem is the great-great-grandfather of who? There was a king of Jerusalem? That's kind of cool. Destroy something so we can rebuild it. Well, I think Hamas destroys everything because their charter, called the Hezbollah charter and the Hamas charter, is to destroy our country and kill all the Jews. So we kind of don't really have a choice. Got to do, try living with neighbors like that. You know what I'm saying? So it's not a lot of fun for anybody. No bueno, particularly if you're a peace lover like I am. I like peace. I don't like people fighting. Are we ready for the impasse prayer? All right. Okay. I want to call on white light protection for myself and this community as we ask permission from Spirit to access the Akashic records. We call on our spirit guides and our good angels to be with us. Please give us the clarity and the wisdom that is needed to empower all of us on our journeys to make the best decisions for ourselves, our families, the planet, the people we love, but also to help those that we may have strife with. And together collectively we say, Amen. This is so nice and warm and yummy. So what do you think about George Santos? You guys want to talk about Georgie? Porgy? Anybody want to give a medical diagnosis? What do you think's wrong with this fella? Theories. He's now spending Congress's money, right? On himself? Is that what they're saying? What do you think's going to happen to him? He says he's not leaving. What level of psychosis is that when everybody, including your own party, wants you to leave? Right? Well, I think it's a pretty odd, excuse me, thing to be in the middle of. Hi, Diane T. Thank you and welcome to Fairies and Angels. Are you a fairy or an angel? All right. Woo. This guy has 9 lives. George Santos has 9 lives. Look at how lucky he is. Got the gift, was endorsed by the church most likely, Tick, tick, tick. Letter from the House coming. Why a bridge? Are they giving him an out to avoid prosecution? No, he has a mountain to climb. You know, they sent this as another investigation with the DOJ against him when they found out he was stealing from Congress. Moon, lunar energy. Yeah, there's another investigation against him. His time is limited. Final outcome for him. He'll get a sweet deal. Can you believe that? Seems so wrong, don't you? How do you think that the reason Bouquet is his outcome? Why do you think he's so lucky? Would you call it luck? What would we call that? Is that luck? Or is that protection? Which is it? Who's protecting him? How could you be that crazy and still not be in jail, right? Bizarre, bizarre, bizarre. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, hello, Carolyn Lynn Rossell. Nice to see you here, darling. Your late wife, Joel, went to San Francisco to the Philippine embassy to get a visa. The fog rolled in and we nearly froze in August of 1977. Oh my God. That sounds so wild, Joel. Wow. Be grateful. Just got herself some Tulsi from her garden. How lovely. We talk quite a bit about Tulsi, be grateful, and the importance of it in healing deep-seated trauma in the body. Tulsi is the balm and the healer of trauma. Yes. It's a really remarkable plant. Oh, Claudia Veras is having peppermint tea. That's a nice one. Some tummy upset can benefit. It does have some mild antimicrobial benefits. Hot coffee and banana muffins, Joel Tilson. Oh, did you make those Did you make those yourself, Joel? Those are, I like to bake. I just don't like the cleanup afterwards. I wouldn't mind the cleanup if someone was baking, if I was helping, if I had someone to talk to. It's more the loneliness of washing dishes by yourself. I think that makes, if you have someone to chat with and talk to and music to listen to, and they're doing something in the kitchen and you're doing the dishes and there's a camaraderie, that's okay, right? That's not the same type of doing dishes, is it? But if you got to do dishes by yourself, in a lonely kitchen at night, oy, what could be more sad, right? Joel says he always had fresh bread. Me too. And pastries with mom. Yeah. And I think you and Joel, Joel and we're kind of the last generation to experience that. Parents that grew up in the Depression that knew that to make a loaf of bread was 5 cents and to buy the Wonder Bread was 25 cents. So we saved by making our own bread, right? So, yeah, I grew up with my mother's bread. It was cheaper to make. It was more cost effective. And so we would buy the raw materials. And, growing up dirt poor in Oregon, right? So it is very strange now to just see, you don't think about it. You just go and buy a loaf of bread. It is a very, to get used to something that I remember when my family went and bought the first sliced bread. It was Wonder Bread, and they brought it into the house. I think my mother was tired, and she decided, and we had a little, maybe an extra quarter or something, and she went and purchased it. And we all sat around and ate this fluffy, like, wow, so this is what everybody else is eating. We definitely you could definitely taste the difference between what mommy makes and this stuff you just got, this Wonder Bread. They're just different animals. It's just not the same thing at all, you know. Stephen Copel, what was KK Travel to Rose says, if you get a chance to watch Stephen Colbert imitating Bernie's hand during the altercation that interrupted Ernie trying to discuss corporate greed. Stephen Colbert is a very ethical person. I don't always agree with him on everything, but I agree with him on most things, and he's a good guy. No, Joel, the whole thing about, well, I mean, Joel, asking clarification. So are we talking about George Santos actually resigning? I don't know. What do you folks think? Do you think that we would literally have to drag him out of there? Can you imagine this guy? We'll switch cards. Let me see if I get a different response from the writer Wait. But he was getting all kinds of great cards in the Lenormand. So I don't know. I just can't believe that our Congress, somebody was saying, who was it? I can't remember which article, but they were talking about the fact that this Congress is psychotic. I mean, like that they've never in the history of America have we seen anything this dysfunctional. He's leaving. Death. Destruction in the House. We've got serious dysfunction. Look at the House. His opposition is the House. The House is in the state of tower. That can't be good. He's in the state of death. He's on his way out. Hopes and fears that there will be armistice. Final outcome, he grieves. He grieves his loss. What a wingnut. Battling around him. He stole from Congress. You see it? The thief on Congress. Wow. They want him out soon, 30 days. Court's on top of him. He might have 30 days. Wands are months. Courts. Don't break the law. That is my advice, people. I don't know. What do y'all think? What is your faith in Congress right now? Do you think they'll get it together? Do you think that they will never get it together? Could it get worse? Stuff is making me cough. Let me check on Putin. I don't know. New beginnings, investigations, spirituality, smoother waters. He's breaking with China. So you know that she met, excuse me, I'm sorry about my cough. Let me have some more tea. I did a remote on Xi and Biden. Here's how I felt. I felt as she that my country was falling apart. I felt that my people could be starving again. I feel that I've cornered myself, excuse me, in an economic war with the United States that I can't get out of. I feel like I need to save face as she. I feel humiliated. I feel impoverished. I feel the same as the junkyard dog out of North Korea. We can't make it without the US's help. How does the US help him save himself from self-destruction? How do we help she save face? We know that he's in trouble. He knows he's in trouble. He knows his country's on the verge of economic collapse. Biden knows he's on the verge of economic collapse. So what do you do? You treat the guy like a king. You say, why can't we be allies? I mean, just because we don't see eye to eye on everything doesn't mean we can't want the good life for Chinese citizens and the good life for our own citizens. What do we got to be fighting for everything? We don't want to fight with you. We've always had a good relationship with you. What's the No, we don't. We are not a communist country. We're a Western country. But then, well, does that mean we have to immediately go to war? Come on now. There's good things you have to contribute. There's good from the Eastern side. In plainer words, she's face was saved. You know, he could have gone to the United States and been degraded and humiliated and been told he was a loser and that he's the worst thing that's ever happened to China. Or we could have praised him for really loving his country and doing what he can to bring the country together, not because he's a dictator, but because the country is crumbling from within. The money is concentrated in Shanghai. The North is starting to starve. That's historically what's always happened. And he's got to get his people back to work. And so he's become paranoid because he's worried about division, you see? So what I felt in the remote is I felt that Biden is going to give Xi an out. And by giving Xi an out, we will not only save China's economy, but we will end this rising tension. I think we are going to see a new relationship with China because we have an amazing president. And I think from what I understand, she is going to work really hard to make sure that the fentanyl crisis is dealt with. These things have to be dealt with. So I'm very, very optimistic based on the remote. And I appreciate the fact that our president was wise enough to see that she had to save face and not look humiliated when his country is in such a desperate situation, and really was able to put themselves in Xi's shoes and try and find common ground, which is exactly what you would hope a diplomat from your country, somebody in a position of power, would do. All right, let's go ahead quickly now and let's check the future relationship between Xi, China, and the United States. Hi, Rose Blue. Well, they're crumbling. They can't pay their interest. They're being wiped out with rising interest rates. The Chinese banks are going belly up. Look what happened in San Francisco. You think that's an accident? No, you guys don't think it's an accident because you guys know what the hell is going on. You know dang well that the interest rates are there because we're trying to bust their hold on real estate. Yes, it's a hassle for regular Americans, but until we get a hold of the fentanyl crisis and the crazy with what's going on with China purchasing U.S. real estate, that's unfortunately, It's interesting that they met with Xi and now they're talking about dropping interest rates. So they've already dropped them, I think, by a quarter. So it'll be interesting to see going forward. But let's take a look. A new beginning with China. That's what I want, right? That's what we all want. We don't want people in China to go hungry. That's not who we are, right? We just want, safety. She is saying, I will be very frank with you. I'm frightened for the world as a whole. This is his conversation with Biden, and whether or not we can hold things together and avoid a global economic collapse at this point because of how far China has slipped. And without U.S. cooperation, it could be a tsunami that leads to a global tower. And for this reason, China and the United States have got to come together. A new beginning comes with China. A new contract or business that is beneficial to China, who presents as the hidden queen, Queen of Pentacles. Doesn't surprise me that China would present that way. Hopes and fears of global economic collapse. The crisis can be averted. 10 of Cups outcome. So I would say that it's really optimistic. I think it's very good, the direction we're headed in. Yeah. Okay, Pat writes, how come so many Republican senators voted against the military promotion work around the committee vote? People want to donate to Israel. Putin was funding Hamas. Hamas was meeting in Russia. Hamas has a very close relationship with Putin. It's very likely they planned this with Putin. There's more coming out about that. They were also working arms deals with Iran. He's not a fan of Israel. He's an enemy of the state of Israel. He's always been an enemy of the state of Israel. He sent hundreds of thousands of criminals to destroy Israel. There's nothing in the history of Putin that should ever make an Israeli think he is anything other than enemy number one next to Iran. He does not want freedom and democracy, and he doesn't want the U.S. and the Western Alliance in the Middle East, right? So the Republicans have to decide. On the one hand, they like Putin. On the other hand, they like Israel. Well, Putin is not, you can't like both given where the investigation is leading, right? They'll let Putin take Ukraine, but they won't let Putin take Israel. That seems to be a Putin strategy, is to basically bust us financially. In terms of where we're headed with the Republicans, it's just a lot of confusion and a lot of Republicans are having to search their conscience to find out what it is they genuinely believe in. Because we have this energy of an inverted King of Cups, and that can be emotional instability in the party. In plainer words, many Republicans may feel like they don't even know what they believe anymore, which is going to cause a kind of spiritual crisis that forces many Republicans to have to walk alone, right? I'm going to have to walk this thing alone because my party's gone crazy. And if that happens, we could be seeing dialogue happening between the Republican Party and the Democrats. But people are afraid because the people who own the money, that hold the money, like McCarthy, they will starve you out if you don't toe the line. And so it's very hard to be an individual in this Republican Party. But inverted King of Cups, emotional confusion leads to reaching across the aisle. A spiritual crisis emerges. Final outcome is Lovers. So in a sense, this crisis that we're witnessing, being at war, having people to make a serious decision, are we going to save Western democracy or not? Because if this continues, Putin and Iran, we may start to see that Look, we lost Western democracy in Afghanistan, right? Where else? They lost democracy in Gaza, right? Hamas took their democracy, right? Hezbollah is taking democracy from Lebanon. So when American troops leave Syria under Trump, what he was doing is he was really helping the East take the Middle East. And that's why we're seeing things escalating with Israel. Israel's the front line holding down the Western Front. Now Putin is sending Wagner fighters. This just came out today. You guys had gotten a remote on that. I think a couple of weeks ago we had given you the remote that foreign fighters were coming in. Unfortunately, foreign fighters coming from Wagner and Africa, paid for by Putin. He, whenever anything horrible happens, he's always there, right? Yeah. All right. So I think that that's definitely what's going on. All right. Cheers, darlings. Don't you want my tea? Doesn't it sound divine? Oh, yes, it does. Let's see if she can get us to tone down the crazy of North Korea. That's a great question, Joel. And hello, Rose Blue, with your real estate question. It's going to cause a lot of money, the collapse of North Korea. Because you've got, excuse me, millions of people in a cult that have never had contact with the outside world. You can't just hand them over and give them full rights in South Korea. They wouldn't be able to handle it. This is a very financially tricky situation. Business, money, military, a peacekeeper. Look at the amount of money they're going to have to blow. Very, very expensive. The first thing they're going to do is dismantle their military. That's basically Xi's plan. They have to dismantle the military. The country that is in jail. The country in jail. Patience with the military. Fear of death and war comes the mediator, keeping war. Money and people taking the weapons away. So they'll invest a lot of money into North Korea, but they will slowly dismantle their military. Well, I think what she is saying is that they will not receive the same amount of Chinese aid for their military that they have in the past as part of that contract, which makes sense. So they would be leaning more on Russia. 5 of Swords. And also money. Mm-hmm. Wow. This is one of the things that's coming up is the mass real estate sale that they're predicting will happen because of this. Let's take a look. The U.S. government is buying back property that was. They're working out a deal with Chinese industries to buy back Chinese industries. I don't know enough about it, but that appears to be what's happening. You have the powers coming in, intellectuals taking away weapons, new beginning. They get their wish. What's interesting about it is that, you have states like Arkansas that are saying we don't want Chinese poultry farms in here. So you have these arguments about who gets to have land, who doesn't, and its impact on the cost of property. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, what do you think we should do? He's got 1 point something billion people he's got to feed and employ, right? So what should she do other than freak out and try and be a control freak because his country's collapsing? So we've got to do our part to stabilize. In plain words, what she is saying is that the best thing for the world and for the United States is for China's economy to be stable. You see what they're saying? Because it would lead to a global collapse. Yep. All right. So, Kim Yo-jong. Yes, how is she? How is the little whippersnapper doing these days? Yes. How is the little whippersnapper? Is she being naughty? She's a really interesting person to remote view. Remember when I started remote viewing her and she kept talking, she talked about how stupid her brother was and how he had an eating disorder because his stomach was always in knots because he was nervous all the time and he would chew on his own clothing. He was constantly putting things in his mouth as a way of handling the anxiety in his stomach, and that she would go and get him candy and bribe him. And she learned very early on how to manipulate him because he was at the victim of his own base pleasures because he didn't know how to control his own mental whatever. She thinks her brother's a complete idiot. So Kim Yo-jong, she says his death is over her. Major transformation in positions of power. Others in opposition with her as a war king. I don't know who that would be. Hopes and fears that she will hang up or lose her power. And then the final outcome is Six of Pentacles, which is mercy. She's very paranoid about the West. She will be given an offer to live in exile, and she will take it. In plain words, they're not going to execute her. They're not going to put her in prison. She will be detained probably during the coup, which will probably be initiated by China and the military. She will be given an offer to go into exile. They're not going to shoot her. They're not going to kill her. Inverted Four of Cups. She takes the offer. Death. So that's what they're going to slowly dismantle the military financially. They're going to do a coup with some of the leading officers. They're going to detain her. This is what they're planning. And they're going to give her an opportunity to live out her life in another country. She can go Vietnam, maybe, right? Is that possible? Hong Kong. I mean, there's a couple places that, but they appear to basically give her an out. And then the other in opposition to her takes the weapons away. It's the same thing again. You have the War King, the King of Wands, and then you have the Five of Swords, which is to take the weapons away. She fears incarceration and hanging it up. The truth is going to come out about all the corruption in her government. So I would say, Rose Blue, with the way these cards are going, it's very possible that this government will collapse, that it'll be part of a military coup that was initiated cooperation between the United States and China as part of a peace deal. And I think that, she's lucky. She's not going to be rotting in a jail cell forever. They're basically saying they're going to give her safe passage so that she can go live somewhere. God, do you think she would move to Switzerland? Is definitely an option. She loves Switzerland. They spent their schooling in Switzerland. But yeah, that is safe passage somewhere. Oh, right. Hi, Susan. Thank you for being here. Be sure and like, subscribe, become a member, check out the merch, all the other cool things. All right, Susan Armstrong. Will Ukraine win the war? I'm concerned with Congress threatening to withhold funds. Well, as you should, my dear, as you should. These are scary times. And, we want the good to win, and the Western democracy is better. I'm sorry. I have been to the East and I have been to the West. I have been to China. I have been to the Middle East. I've been very fortunate. The West is better. It just is in so many ways. But the food is better in the East. So, But democracy is good. Democracy is what we want people to evolve. We want to embrace people's right to find their destinies for themselves and to live in countries that support freedom and democracy, right? We don't want to be going backwards. We don't want to see what happened to Afghanistan happen in the US and everywhere else, right? Susan's question, she wanted to know about the Ukraine war. There's a lot of intellectuals over this. This is like intellectual stuff. Here's armistice, quickly, and then victory. It's also a January card. I think Putin has just, they're broke. And now he's sending Wagner troops to Israel. To Gaza, and he's trying to turn Gaza into, remember I had told you guys that Gaza is not going to be safe because they're turning it into East-West Berlin, that you've got the US and Israeli and British, also British forces. The Western Alliance is in Israel and Gaza. And you've got now foreign fighters coming in, the Houthi from Yemen, and the Wagner forces. So basically, Russia is at war with Israel and the United States. So Russia and Iran are both basically at war via Hamas and Hezbollah, which are their proxy armies. So for everybody who voted for Trump and thought that they were helping Israel, so you got an embassy in Jerusalem. So the hell what? You didn't get security for the nation, which should have been our first concern as Israelis, right? It should have been a safe haven for all Jewish people, which is the real reason we created the place, right? And instead, people got seduced into loving Trump. Oh, I'm going to put the embassy in Jerusalem, which has nothing to do with whether or not we can keep the nation safe from terrorists. So I think there's a lot of soul searching. I think there's a lot of soul searching that people are doing in Israel. That's what it feels like. What's going on the other side, the Palestinian side, I can't say. I know that there are now a lot of people missing that is now starting to come out, like taken by Hamas. I just think it's horrible. They're Al Qaeda. They take your children, they take your daughters, they take your children to war, they take your daughters as well. It's a very primitive way of looking at life when you think about it. Yeah. Okay, so They're basically saying with those cards that Ukraine will win, and that Putin attempting to divide us or trying to break us financially, you know, I like the fact that energetically how I felt as she going into that meeting is I felt humiliated, broken financially, and too embarrassed. You save his face. Don't humiliate the guy. Praise his culture and all of its great things, and tell him you need him to get back to work. Let's build a great planet. We could green economy. We got to, let's create great jobs for everybody, right? I mean, that's how you save face and you diffuse the crate, because it was pretty bad. But I think this meeting, and I think the way that they communicated, she was very optimistic. I mean, it gives me optimism. All right, Israel going to war with Iran. Aren't we already? I mean, we get bombs fired at us every day from. Do people in America know that we get bombed every day? It's a bit of a drag. Imagine if you were like having your lunch in San Francisco or wherever, and you're in Tel Aviv. It's like Tel Aviv, and it's like sirens, and you got to go to. It's just insane to have to live like that. But if you go into the energy as a remote viewer into the Hezbollah Iranian army, they're very confident. They know they're going to win. They know they're going to destroy the state of Israel. They know they're going to create a caliphate. They have no doubt it's going to happen. They have pure faith. And that energy of Hezbollah should be very, very concerning for everyone. And they have like 3 solid battalions from what, I mean, right now, Battalion 1 is firing from the north, and then you've got Battalion 2 trying to sneak into the West Bank, and the United States is now getting fired upon from Syria. I mean, it's just a very scary time. Okay, let me see what I got so far. Israel will take the weapons away from the enemy. Strong business. Also, there's a lot of financial power. There's a power seat there. The other they're having opposition with, the War King, 10 of Cups. So they're like having a party. They're ready to go. It's like a war party, 10 of Cups with what's that song? We're going to a war. How's that go? War party, we don't want to go. Dun, 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 dun. We're going to a war party. So they got a war party going on. The hopes and fears here is communication in the family, like that people may not know what the heck is going on. The dreamer. We have Tower, which would indicate, yes, possibility of military action, probably with Hezbollah, with the 2 of Pentacles. So America has got to decide whether or not they're going to financially invest in going back heavy, full force into the Middle East. Oh, yay, we're leaving Syria. Isn't that wonderful? Well, it's a nice in theory, Yay, we don't have to pay our taxes. Isn't that wonderful? Hey, we can eat trans fats all day long. Isn't it wonderful? Yeah. Until you have to reap the consequences, right? So we have here also strong alliances with Israel, because I think people are starting to get this is a Western alliance issue. We have infighting happening. Here's what I predict. The British are very good at creating chaos. Right? This is how they conquer and control. And I think that is what they're going to do in Hezbollah. I see potentially Hezbollah leadership being taken out, assassinated, and I think that this will cause chaos. And I think that they will spread rumors of enemies afoot. They will begin accusing one another of being collaborators with Israel. I think that Britain will do precisely to Hezbollah what they did to break up Palestine. They'll get everybody all paranoid. They'll be chasing their own tail. And Hezbollah will be shooting at Hezbollah after they've taken out senior leadership. And I think it'll be a joint effort between the West and Israel. And it will result in a potential circular firing squad for Hezbollah. That is the long-term plan. Rather wicked of the West. Do you think that's wicked? Have a bunch of terrorists in a circular firing squad, paranoid, trying to figure out, you're the terrorist, oh, you're coming to get us. Hey. So, rather gruesome. Well, all spare in love and war. Look what they did to Petrosian. Remember when you had me go in and check Petrosian and the British saw how that ended? Wasn't that a lovely ending? Yes. Well, if you've got a mess to clean up, bring in the British. Yes. Oh my, Putin, you did all of that. Well, you're right. You did all of that. You delivered Bakhmut, and they still didn't want to pay you. Well, I can understand you being upset. What are you going to do about that? Will we pay? Well, of course we'll pay you. Of course the British will pay you. Yes, you should march right now to Moscow. That's exactly what you should do. You should march right there to Moscow, and you should tell Putin exactly what you think. And we will send you the money. We will pay to support you because we're Britain, and that's what we do. Worked out great. That's war, right? So what did the British really do? Did they really help Petrosian? You guys got a front row seat, didn't you? You knew it was coming a couple weeks beforehand, didn't you? Isn't that fun? Russia coup attempt. Let's take a look. Oh, you guys wanted to see my hypoallergenic rosin? Because I'm allergic. I've got a lot of rosin dust. This is the hypoallergenic. And these chunks that are like all over the place are is the pine that that causes the cough. But the thing I don't like about this resin is it hardly comes off, the hypoallergenic olive, and I'm like going forever trying to get it onto my violin. Really annoying. Yes. Russia collapses due to economic collapse. What happens is that the oligarchs make financial dealings that bust the economy, that bring the economy back, but weaken the existing government. Karma, money, causes the collapse, confusion. Mm-hmm. Global investments take out Russia. They will pour money into the free economy, and that will crash. That will weaken you have this global presence over the country. You've got this money coming in, right? New beginnings for the new construct. Death of the old guard, lovers reaching across. Look at where it's global money. Look at that. It's very obvious to me. And then confusion over the land, but look, the oligarchs take over, Six of Pentacles. The oligarchs work the West and take him out, which is basically what Joel predicted a while ago, I think. Right, Joel? All right. Thank you for your love. I think I'm going to take off. Thank you for putting up with my forever allergy. I apologize. Prigozhin, yes, Prigozhin. Did I not say Prigozhin? What did I say? Yes, Prigozhin. What happened with Prigozhin? We did a remote. You guys asked me to go in, and what happened? I made contact with head of British intelligence, and he told me that he was going to pay Prigozhin to, yeah. So then they found the money, and he was released, and then they blew him up a couple months later. But that's really what the British are known for. They're very polite when they work with people, and Prigozhin was vulnerable, and yeah. Prigozhin, excuse me. Everyone's why do I keep calling him Prigozhin? Prigozhin, excuse me, Prigozhin. Pardon me. Yeah, so it didn't end well for him, did it? Mm-mm. Oh, I keep saying, I don't know why I'm doing that, because I'm a dumb American. Yes, I always get things wrong, but so listen, what do you guys think about me doing personal readings on Fridays to raise money for my trip? Do you guys think that would be a good idea to like put it out to the public and then people can like donate? Yeah. I think it's a good idea. And then the other thing is that, my black bag from being a doctor, it's kind of emotional because it has my stethoscope, my BP cuff and everything. And I'm taking it with me to Israel, to Brothers and Sisters of Israel volunteers. And I'm thinking, should I just give it to them? I mean, because, maybe I should just give it to them, because all my patients now are telemedicine. I don't do physical exams. So it's more that my black bag is sentimental, than anything else. Yeah. All right, boys and girls, have a great rest of the evening. Thank you so much for your love and your support. Be kind to all so that all can be kind to you too. Yeah, I don't know. I might do something on Friday. I don't know. I might do like a fundraiser or something. I'm still thinking it. What do you guys? I'll let you guys decide what I should do. A fundraiser for the trip. Putin was able to get a whole plane to fall out of a window. A whole plane to fall out of a window. Oh, I don't get that joke. I'll be gone. I leave Christmas Day, which is great because the ticket was cheaper. I leave Christmas Day, and I'm going to spend, in case the world is coming to an end, I don't want to be negative, but in case the world is coming to an end, I'm like, what do I want to do when I go home? Because Israel is home, right? So I thought, okay, I'm going to land in Tel Aviv. I'm going to go through security. I'm going to have a good cry when I go through security, because I'm going to see all those people. I'm going to be like, I'm here to love you. And then I'm going to go to the hotel. I'm going to wash myself, clean myself. I'm going to go and have the best plate of hummus that I can find. And maybe a little bit, a full confession of Israeli ganja, because it's legal. and just sit on the Tel Aviv beach, thankful I'm alive, get a good night's sleep, good cry, and then report to my volunteering duties. Yes. I'm going to bring my guitar and my violin both. And I'm going to sit out there in the middle of the crazy and play my guy. I'm going to go down. I'm going down with my violin and my guitar. Would you guys like me to go live from like the war front? Would you guys like? Maybe I will, so you guys can see it and like experience it, you know. Have me out there playing the violin and the Galilee, right? That might be fun, right? All right. Be kind to all so that all can be kind to you too. All right. We'll see you all, Hans. If you need to see me for a reading, please check out the information below. I would love to give you a tarot reading. If you just need a quick 5-minute reading, check out Wizio. I think it's only $30 for a reading. And I usually can get those answers back to you within a week. All right. Take care, everybody. Bye. Love you all. Be well. Bye. Thank you.